Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do another tool review today. It is on my WEN 6550T 12.5 inch planer. Like I said, it's 12.5 inch planer. That's my downside. That's my number one downside, is I can't go any bigger. When you're buying a lunchbox style planer, you know that going in. I knew it. It happens, all right. I bought it. It was around $300. So getting a planer at $300, you're not gonna get a big one. So it worked out for me. This planer, of course, like all planers, you got your little ruler, little measuring stick right here, and you got your gauge, so you know where you're at, you know where you're at. Haven't had a single problem with as far as it getting off level. Now, I have read a lot of reviews and I have seen a lot of videos about something happening inside and on either side of it for your lift, and your levelness for your planer gets off a little bit, and you got to take it apart and re-level it. And I have not had this problem with this planer. I've had it going on 2 years, I believe, and it's worked like a dream every single time I went to use it. I have one instance where it failed me. I had a bearing block lock up, which caused my bearing block on this side lock up, which caused my chain on this side to give a sudden stop, which what drives the rollers, give a sudden stop, and the sprocket that the chain was on actually broke in two pieces. So I was down for just a few days. Now I went to it's a WEN joiner, WEN planer, sorry, WEN planer. I went to wenparts.com and I was able to get perfect match, perfect replacement for those parts. Now that took, I won't say like maybe 3 days, something like that, to get the parts. But there's something I learned on that. The bearing blocks are not bearing blocks. They are basically like bushing blocks. I don't know why they call them bearing blocks. It's just a block, the end of your roller rides in and roller turns. That's it. So do yourself a favor, if you do purchase this planer and you do decide, you know, that you're gonna keep it, you have a problem or something like that, do yourself a favor. If something happens to one of the bearing blocks, buy a new roller. You're better off by the time, if you think about that bearing block, if it locks up, it's been running rough for a little bit, so the end of that shaft's gonna be rough. I had to clean the shaft. Wish that I had done it the whole time. Wish I had bought a new one the whole time, but I didn't, and this is what I had to deal with. Again, like I said, size, but you're buying a lunchbox, like I said, and that happens. 12.5 inches wide. I do not try to go more than 12 inches in it, just to give it a little breathing room. So, I built this stand for it that it's on and bolted it to it. If you don't, there's a whole lot of vibration that comes through it. So it's just like, it helps secure it. Build a big heavy stand, bolt it down, it helps secure it. Now I have one downside to this planer, and it's something that WEN could take care of. I wish they would, but it's something that they could take care of very quickly in their design process. And let me bring you around to the back and I'll show you what that fault is. Okay, so back side of this planer, you see my dust port's right here. This is where my hose hooks in, on this side right here. If this piece right here, your dust chute, would come out and just circle up and have your dust port come down on top right there, a lot of my problems with this planer will be solved. I have a lot of issues with this side, want to get clogged up a little bit, and it just slowly builds up as to when your board comes through, you've got shaving shooting out the front, you got them shooting out the side because you're not getting the airflow you're needing to pull it all out. You're pulling, especially if you take a deep cut. Now, if you take planing small pieces, if you're planing very, very shallow cuts, you won't have that problem. Shouldn't have that problem. Don't hold me to that. So, what it does is you got shavings over here, it's pulling through. Well, these shavings over here, and it's feeding the whole time. It's feeding, so it's fast feeding. These shavings over here are just slowly working their way this way to eventually these are not getting out of the way in time for these shavings to come through. So they're all just bounding up right here. If that port was here on top, it would solve that issue. But it is it's not. So that's a defect on WEN. If they would fix it, change it, this would be great. I wish WEN made a bigger planer. As you see, I can see in the background over there, you can see my joiner. I've got it where I join and then plane. If WEN would make a bigger planer and joiner, I would probably go with them as my step up planer. Now I plan on next few years. I've got other things I need to do and I need to improve, but I plan on going with a bigger planer and bigger joiner. Especially with the dust collector going, planer is loud. So I mentioned this before. Hearing protection is it's not necessary, but if you want to keep hearing, it's a good idea. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a good one. If you ain't already, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. If you like this video, find it informative, give me a like. Any questions, comments, you know where to do it. All right, y'all have a good one.